maintaining these tracks to keep the trains running. But in the late 1800s, snowplows were not an option, and keeping the tracks clear and trains running proved nearly impossible. So Great Northern came up with a second solution, a tunnel. Hill's original tunnel is no longer in use, so to get there, I'm going to need the help of some new technology. The original Cascade Tunnel was built over 3,300 feet above sea level. The slopes around it are plagued by avalanches, so only the few dare to make this trek.
This is where the tracks for the old tunnel used to be, right here. I can't believe they used to run trains up here. This was railroad at its toughest, man.
The tunnel was 2.6 miles long, and by cutting through the mountains, it cut out 12 of the steepest miles of switchback tracks.
Eastern portal of the old Cascade Tunnel. Wow, look at that thing.
The original Cascade Tunnel is a feat of early 20th century engineering. But the builders forgot to consult the real keeper of the Cascades, Mother Nature. The result was the tunnel that should have never been built. In February 1910, 2 trains were stranded just west of the tunnel in Wellington, Washington. For 6 days, a blizzard pounded the mountain. Shortly after midnight on March 1st, a lightning storm lit up the sky. A rumble shook the mountain. And within seconds, an avalanche of snow, trees, and rocks came crashing down the mountain, wiping both trains off the tracks. They eventually came to a halt 1,000 feet down into the canyon below. 96 people died in the Wellington disaster. It is still the most lethal avalanche in the history of the United States. The Wellington disaster proved that the current tunnel was still not the answer to getting safely over the Cascade Mountains. So the Great Northern Railway tried a third and final option, another brave engineering gamble.
On the other side of these mountains is Puget Sound in Seattle, but to get there, we have to go through the longest tunnel in the United States.
I've jumped off Amtrak's Empire Builder and am now standing in the snowiest place in America, the Cascade Mountains.
I'm standing here at the portal of the longest tunnel in the United States. It's the only direct route for trains from the east coming into Seattle.
In 1926, 16 years after the Wellington disaster, the Great Northern Railway started building a new 8-mile-long Cascade Tunnel. The new tunnel's location was 500 feet lower than the old one. When they started the project, building an 8-mile tunnel in 3 years was thought to be impossible. It took 1,700 workers and nearly 5 million pounds of dynamite to blast the way through the mountain. But they did it, and in just 3 years, the tunnel was completed on schedule. The tunnel itself is 20 feet 10 inches high and 16 feet wide. There's only one single track through the tunnel, so east and westbound trains take turns going through it. Today, the hardest job is keeping the 90-year-old tunnel in operation.
In a tunnel this long, airflow is a major concern. If the air wasn't cleaned out, the exhaust would be toxic to the people on the trains and the engines would stall.
Trains emit potentially toxic fumes in small increments. Outside, these emissions are negligible. But in an 8-mile-long tunnel with no airflow, these fumes can stagnate. So these giant fans pump the fumes out of the tunnel.
When the tunnel door is closed, these giant fans blow cool air in, sending oxygen to the locomotives.
Each fan blows enough oxygen into the tunnel to keep the airflow constant.
This right here, the generator that powers the fans in the tunnel.
The fans blow the clean air into the tunnel at 35 miles per hour.
Right here, this is the fan tube. This is where the air comes out,
blows the diesel fuel out of the tunnel.
But air is not the only thing that maintenance crews need to keep flowing. They need to keep water from melting snow or heavy rainfall out of the tunnel.
When you're in a 7.8-mile long tunnel with a huge mountain over you with snow melting, it's going to be a constant battle. They're going to be springing leaks.
If water collects in the tunnel, there's trouble.